Hi, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. This is the end of the day. And my name's Lori, as David said. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? I want to know your name, and I want to know what you do. What do you do?
Photography.
Nice. I know you all do photography. Some of you are basically just here for hobbyists, and you're trying to figure this out. Maybe you do other things, like the last speaker was a writer too. So, and that's a part of intention. That's a part of the idea of intention. It's because it's not about me. It's about you. It's about your client. So the intentional headshot, that's what I'm going to talk about, some of those things. And then they're going to get the keynote going. But can I take a picture of you?
Why not?
Because it's about you. Again, remember, it's about the client. It's always about the client, not about you. Right? So let me take a picture. Here we go. Say cheese! Thank you. I'm going to take one here. I don't know how it's going to turn out because we don't have light, but I think it's kind of fun just to give you the example. Okay? All right. So if you look at the splash page here that I have, it's just an example of how I work with headshots. You're going to see a lot of speakers speak about different ways that they work. Dylan Patrick does a lot of things on environmental, cinematic shots where it's the landscape view, and it reminds you of how they shoot movies, and he decided that it should be cropped a certain way because that's how it's going to view nice on the screen and so forth. Peter Hurley, he's very much studio and outstanding, one of my mentors. I'm a little bit, you can see, I'm in the studio, I do both styles, and then I do my own thing. And my own thing might include black and whites. It might include somebody laughing or somebody that I found on the street. So I want to thank B&H and David Brommer for selecting my photo on Depth of Field, the page for this conference. They used one of my photos of a headshot that I love. I'm in love with this. This one was done in Cuba. When I take students to Cuba, I shot this there as a demonstration, and it turned out great. Speed light, easy camera. I used my Fuji X-T20. And then also, we'll move on, and I want to say, David alluded to this, everything I have done in my career started in journalism, and it remains the same today. Anybody in journalism here? Anybody write for the newspaper, write for magazines, take photos for, yes, nice. Oh, yes, it's a good base. I mean, it's a good place for you to go and drop yourself into and to get yourself out of your head so you can find the story and the people that will become your clients. And journalism actually has given me the base to meet the people on the stories that I can give my card to and say, by the way, and then that brings people to your studio, and it's a whole vortex. Tomorrow I'm teaching on concert photography as well, going into the pit and all that at noon, and this story kind of like all goes together, and it all began with journalism. So it keeps me on my toes. So here's just a sample. Okay, I write front page stories. That was the Christmas tree last year in Bethlehem. So they put it on the front page, and then there was whenever they had the solar eclipse, things like that. So it gets you in front of people. It gets you in front of like leads, the people that are in charge of things. That think about you're trying to market on LinkedIn, and it's just screen, So yeah, market on LinkedIn, but get in front of the people. This class isn't about that. Don't get me started on marketing, because I can tell you a lot about that. But it led to headshots, which led to commercial work. And then also here I have Elton John on the left for concerts, and I have the Music Man on the right. Why am I showing you that? That's tomorrow's class, right? No, because theater is where I started with headshots, all right? So that last slide showed a play where it was the Music Man, and I'm meeting the cast and the characters. And that started for me a long time ago. So I worked with a local theater. It was called Wrights Theater in Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Shout out. I was photographing their performance and their headshots for 5 years. I had already started performance with concerts, but then I went to them. I decided I wanted to do their headshots for the lobby. They paid me to do that, not much, but you know what it did? It opened my mind, it opened my eyes, and then what it did was it brought me to a place where I learned about intention. So here's just a couple headshots here that I took back in those days, and I really didn't have my feet wet yet with it, and Arsenic and Old Lace and Aesop's Fables. But what I did was I learned how to get expression from people. So I learned the fine art of capturing expression through direction. So those people, they're actors, but whenever they're in front of the camera, you know what they do? On stage, they're just like all over the place. They got it down. They're so good, right? But when they get in front of my camera and I have to take the lobby card, which is, those are the portraits that hang on the wall and that tell you who the actors are, and we always kept them in costume. And I was big on, right away, I was like, I want to see the expression. Get into character, show me what you got, and I would say, move this way, turn your head this way, give me a growl, do something. And that's where I learned expression. Expression, which leads to intention, all right? Because intention is actually, look at these ladies here. Same play, Arsenic and Old Lace, it was my favorite one, obviously. But these ladies holding their little, real shady. I wanted it real bright. I already decided that going in. But now, we got the guy that was drinking too much all the time. And I said, go grab your flask, give me a look. So he did that. He did that bright, wide-eye thing and everything. These two ladies here, I put them in horrible conditions, like the worst. It's not portrait quality. It's not a Jerry Guglielmo shot, for sure. This is for that play. That was an intention. So you always got to think, all right, I'm going to take a portrait. Do I want it to be a beautiful look, this and that? Or do you need it to be a high contrast, crazy, that she had see that glass there? I shot up on purpose with my speed light low so that I could get the design from the glass onto her neck. Do you see that? I did that on purpose. I was so happy that it turned out. So it really resonates well. So I learned the intention then, and now I apply it to every single shoot, every shoot. And how do I do that? Here's another intention. Same thing, Wrights Theater, wonderful actresses. This is Little Women. So Little Women, I'm going to take their photos. Yeah, I love how they're dressed and their hair and their makeup was perfect. I told them to look at me very stoic, very important, because the intention was Little Women. I don't want them smiling. That was set up, that play was circa 1861. What did they do back then? Did you ever see Civil War pictures and all those old pictures from the 1800s? And they, when you see those, look them up if you haven't, 1800s portraits. They never smiled. They looked like they, had a stick somewhere. They didn't look happy. Like we're trying to portray today. It was just a very stoic look, and that was the thing, though. That was a proud moment, and that was an honorable moment where, today, in today's world, it's the play, so the intention was, let me bring that back. So I created sepia tone. I brought into the oval. You'll see ovals a lot. They used to frame, mat them in oval mats and so forth. So I wanted to make sure that when those guests came into that theater, they saw what they thought that they were going to get with the play. It set the mood, intention from me. Now, you're going to see, like I said with Peter and Dylan and others, everybody has education, and it's so cool and good, and you can learn from all of us. You really can. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, but somebody's going to think, yeah, but Peter says this, and Dylan says that, and that one says this, but we need something to believe in, right? And it can be coming from all the sources. That's what you need, especially if you're getting started. You need a lot of people to learn from. I've learned from Sal Sankata. He was here. Jerry Gionis, my goodness sakes, right? If you were here this morning, did you see? Holy cow, that presentation was so good. Education is an everyday coincidence when you are open to receive it. So don't shut yourself down. And don't say to yourself, yeah, but Peter lights everybody this way, or he does this now. Because he has changed his lighting, and I love it. It's so great, contrasty. I loved his old light, too. As a matter of fact, whenever I took Peter's class at Event Space, it was a while ago. He could probably tell me when it was. I think it was the first time he was there. I had already done theater headshots and so forth. I was so excited. I was so excited after his class, because he really brings it. He's speaking, too. You're going to see that, right? He got me so excited that I went over on Manhattan Bridge, and I saw this guy standing on a rail, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to make a headshot, something really great. It needs to be great. And right now I'm going to say to this, practice. Okay, you've got to practice. So I found my way to practice. I found a guy, he had guys around him just hanging out. They were walking across the Manhattan Bridge. He had a little point and shoot camera, and he was standing on like the edge, and they were holding him, and he was taking a picture of the city. It was the coolest thing. I was like, and I'm just standing there like, holy cow, who's this character? So whenever he came down, I just stayed there, and I was timid, and I was like, dang, I want to get his headshot. I just need to take a headshot right now, and it's got to be something good. I like a character. That's because I come from theater, right? So there he is. I said, may I please, I think you're so cool, may I please take a photo of you, a portrait? And he goes, yeah, with that same attitude that you see on his face, the same expression. And I said, cool, and it took me like, I'd say less than a minute. It only, if you're gonna do something like that, you got a minute or two. All right, it's not a photo shoot. It's a photo, all right? But the funny thing about him is that he was carrying a Canon, because I asked him, because I'm interested in photography and I'm interested in cameras. And so he had a Canon. And I said, oh, what do you shoot with? Because I had a Nikon. And he said, oh, Canon. I said, oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. And it was just like that. And then he said, you want to know the funny thing? And I said, what's that? My name is Mr. Nikon. I thought that was so cool. So you're going to meet cool characters out there. Just give yourself a chance to practice. I have a group on Facebook. If you like what I say, if you don't like what I say, you're going to like people in my group. If you're on Facebook and you like groups, this is Headshots with Lori Patrick, and I have a lot of wonderful, Dylan and Peter in there. There's Gary Hughes is in there, and then there's so many other ones. Oh my gosh, that talk to you about every little thing that you want about headshots. What I do is I don't make it all about me. I make it about you. My group's about you. So what do you need? And if you want to learn from somebody that learns from Peter, and you have a question about his lighting, they're in there. They're in there. A lot of people are in there. And I call them my pros. And what they do, I'll tag them or something, and they'll come in and they'll talk to you. Maybe it's about sales. Maybe it's about group headshots, so to speak. So join the group if you feel like it. It's a really cool vibe. It's been around since 2014. In there, I have critique and review. This is a thread that I'll go in. If you dump a picture in the comments there and you're too afraid to put it in the main thing, dump it in the comments, and I will critique it fully for you, as fully as I can, and I'll be really honest with you. Okay? So anyway, that's critique and review in that group. Definition of a headshot. It's a photograph of a person's head and face, right? When you dream of becoming a big actor, the first thing you have to do is make sure you have your headshots done, and that's from Webster's Dictionary. Okay, a photograph of a person's head and face. There's my headshot that I actually took a self-portrait for this because I didn't have a lot of turnaround time, and anyway, I'm just showing you head and face. The one on the left doesn't do it for me, right? It's just like, it's too close, it's a little crazy to me, and my intention for this headshot for this was that crop where it came down into my jacket, all right? So whenever you see it in a dictionary, you're like, oh, that's Okay, no. Don't follow their thing. And also don't follow some of the stuff that you're seeing out there either that they're calling headshots today. I'm going to go into that in a minute. Who needs a headshot today? All of us. David said it this morning. We all need a headshot, right? This is what we do. You know, we're updating our image. You're updating your image, and you're updating your image if you're doing your headshot, but if you're taking headshots of your clients, you're updating their image. So I use that as a slogan. That's on my business card, update your image. So it's not only the image of the picture, it's the image of who they are, because that is what headshots are about too. You're portraying something, right? So with social media, they are not only just for corporates or small business and artists any longer. Everyone wants to put their best face forward. Hey, look at Facebook. Facebook called it Facebook for a reason. The little profile picture went along with the life that's attached to that. So think about that. And now we have all kinds of stuff. Ditch the selfie, that's a hashtag that I kind of created. I don't own it, obviously, but use it. Use it in your marketing. Ditch the selfie. Everybody's got Kim Kardashian. She's taught you well. Ditch the selfie means you're going to tell them that they should come to you, right? You're going to show them good work. Come to me. Ditch the selfie. Have something like this. Represent yourself, right? So it's a good marketing thing. All right, here we go. It's important to learn the rules of a standard headshot before charging your first client, okay? Crop, orientation, where they fit is something you will need to study and apply to each intention scenario, so be prepared. It's very important. Sometimes it takes a couple years of practice. Sometimes it might take somebody a month. But please understand your camera. Jerry Gona said that this morning. He said, who's read the manual? I was one of them that raised my hand. There was about 6, I think. It was kind of shocking to see. You know, you want to learn your gear. You need to understand it. First of all, shoot on manual, very important, in my opinion. So there's a lot of things that you want to learn, especially with the crop and so forth, all right? Cropping with American Standard Guidelines. Now, why do I say American? We're in America, okay? But if you go maybe Australia, if you go into Europe and things like that, they might define a headshot different than we do, than most of us do that have been doing this for a long time and actually are working in this field, all right? And what's being blurred right now out there is personal branding portraits are looking like portraits, all right? The crop needs to be a certain way. And in America, for years and years and years and years and years and years, the crop has been not below this area, all right? So let's not confuse this crop with personal branding or a lifestyle portrait. You're in a whole different ballgame when you start shooting below, I call it below the belly button, okay? A whole different ballgame. So now, because if you're shooting below the belly button, you're into a different portrait, and guess what? You should be charging a little bit more. Like David said. David was saying, and I always say this too, headshots are the bread and butter of a portrait business. It can get you started. It can get the client in the door. And then you can evolve from the headshot, and you can move on with it. And you can bring in the clients that you really want. If you're stuck because you don't know where the next client is going to come because you want to do, my favorite thing is fine art. I mean, I'll shoot a woman, fine art, everyday woman, not models. I don't shoot models. But that's my goal. That's my dream. I love that. My dream isn't headshots. But I know that if I'm using headshots, they will come because it's easier. It's a little less money, but now I can show them a little bit more. What can they have that's more of what you want to give them? And what you're doing is you're giving them what you want to shoot and what they're going to be satisfied with. But you know what you got to do? You got to shoot for everything because then you can show them more. And then you can start making revenue because guess what? I didn't start in headshots. I didn't start in studio photography right away. You know when I figured out I had to do that? It wasn't because I was shooting theater. And I was like, oh, well, this is cool. I like this. I did like it, but I learned how. I learned how really well. But I figured out in journalism, you're not making very much money, you guys working for the papers. I mean, really, you turn in a photo. I think some people might think that we make great money with that. You know, papers are going away. Newspapers, print papers are going away. Ours is solid, it's doing well, but magazines are going away. We just lost the PDN magazine, right? It's going down. So, you know, the thing is that the budgets are tightening up and you're really not making a lot of money. So I had to decide, do I want to make a living? Do I want to feed my family? Do I want to send my kid to college? Do I want to, what's in your mind? What do you need? All right? So that's why I went to studio, but I stayed with journalism because I got to stay connected to people. Reach out to your paper. Get a connection. All right, here we go. Let's get beyond that. We are cropping head to sternum for horizontal images. So Peter Hurley, you know, you can see his work. A lot of times he's doing horizontal landscape with his portraits. Now, he also shoots for intention. When he teaches, he shows that. But he shoots every way, you know, whatever is coming into him, and they say, I need it like this, he's going to do it like that. But when he shows you, he's showing you this. It's not the only answer, all right? But here's your sternum. Okay, you might be ticklish there. It's where your bones, I mean, not your sternum, but your rib cage. Here's your sternum up here. So your sternum is horizontal. So here's the crop, all right? It's kind of like down into the head, and some people don't like it, and some people don't understand it. Peter explains it very well. You have to keep the eyes above. It's about the eyes in a certain space. So this, but the thing that I'm finding out is the circle crop. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, that we have to kind of leave some space and then crop later. This is new, you know. So the rib cage, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. The rib cage is for the vertical headshot, and that's the American standard, all right? They are the maximum crop guidelines for things that your client is coming to you for. If you become too creative and you go out of the box with these time-tested guidelines, and they really are, you are making a portrait with another purpose. All right. When's the last time you looked in the phone book? Do you still get the phone book? I'm sure many of you, all of you are probably old enough that you saw a phone book in your life. So do some research. If you have one laying around, an old one on your dusty shelf, see how the crops are represented there. Just look at it. You'll find out who needs a headshot, who buys headshots, right? Lawyers, doctors, accountants, insurance people, real estate agents, commercial stuff. So you might get ideas about where to go to get clients, all right? But what I want you to look at more than that is how did they crop them for the phone book? And when you get a business card, and I'm sure you have a stack of them beside your desk, because we still make them, don't we? The headshot's usually cropped to the side, sometimes this way. And it's true. So what we need to do is we need to learn the standard rules so that we can understand how to work with intention for our clients, all right? Watch for camera orientation and crop specifically to their needs. And so I'm going to use this picture to demonstrate that. Here we have a gentleman. He's a musician in Cuba. I go to Cuba, so I'm sorry. I love my Cuba shots because I get the most amazing things there. So he's a musician. He didn't pay me. I love this look. I went to see him at the Artists Union there. And I love his gold teeth, and I love the blue, and I love the trees there. The trees are all like these big, rooted, viney things. You can see it there. That tree was from here to here. No kidding. What a backdrop. Anyway, but I wanted to take his headshot, because I always take headshots no matter what kind of portrait I'm making. And and I was going to say, he didn't pay me. I had to pay him. I had to buy a CD. He's like, no, wait a minute. After I took the picture, wait, He's handing out the CD to me. I gave him $10 and we were both happy. So it's awesome. Anyway, so here's our vertical, and I'm showing you the one on the right. That is personal branding. That is going into a different realm. Now you're dealing with hands, you're dealing with a pose. I had him kind of like squish back a little bit like this. No, it's the same shot, I just cropped it up. He wasn't buying a headshot from me. His intention wasn't a headshot. I just took his portrait, but I wanted to show you the difference, that the one on the left is the one that they need, all right? That's the one that their office needs. If you're doing corporate work, there's so many guidelines with that. You'll find out, all right? The one on the right was just a portrait. So, and then, because it's all about that face, no trouble. Now you can see I ripped that off of Meghan Trainor, all right? But what I want you to think about that song when you're shooting headshots. Think about it. Just get it in your head, like, okay, got a headshot client coming in. It's all about that face, no trouble. Why do I want you to think about that? Because you might get carried away. Or they might ask you for a little bit more than they're paying for. Oh, can we just do this now? Can we just do that now? And all of a sudden you're posing them and stuff. Really posing them? Posing up here is just like, here you go. Put the legs apart a little bit. And you're just basically, watch Peter do it. He does a lot over at his booth that's here. He has a booth, and he's probably doing demos there. But, it's a little bit of a turn of the head. It's a little bit of a turn of the shoulders. It might be I have people just kind of like move on their axis on their waist, or I might have them go like this. And then, but I'm only looking up here. I don't care what's going on down there. But it does start from the feet up, all right? So don't let them say, oh, let's go down here, and I want to sit down, and I want my legs in it and stuff. That's not a headshot anymore. You need to get more money for that one. You do. You have to edit more. You have to retouch more. What if it's a woman with a dress on and her legs are there? Now you got to deal with legs. What if she has bruises and stuff? You got to retouch that puppy, all right? It's enough that you got to retouch the face. All right? Get paid for what you're doing. So now here's the landscape version of that one. And I just love that one. I love that one. This is my favorite one. Yeah. It really pops out at you, and it shows his gold teeth really well. All right, where are we going? Your headshot reflects the character within. What do you want to portray and why? All right. This comes with a consultation. I'll be talking about that in a minute. This is intention. What do you want to portray? You want to portray something because why? Because you're selling yourself. You're looking for a client that might hire you for real estate. You might be using it to get a date. On Tinder? I don't know. Match.com? I don't know which ones are out there. I never really used that before. Well, I didn't. But anyway, why? Why are you here? Why'd you come to me today? And you find that out before they walk in the door, by the way, okay, in the consultation. Tell me what you need. What's your job? What are you trying to reflect? That's all the questions of intention. There's a million more. I'm sure you can think of them, but we only have an hour here, so I have a lot of slides. So I can really deep dive that whenever I take you on workshops. We talk a lot about things. But to the left, I have Brandy. She had just gotten her AIFD certificate for being a florist, which is a really, really, really high honor. It's really hard to get there and work for and make that happen for a florist. I know because I was a florist for 16 years. I had a flower shop, and I owned it. And I know what that's about. I never tried. It's a huge process, but she did that. So she came to me for her headshot. So what I did, when she called me and we talked about her wonderful achievement, I'm like, Brandy, bring something colorful to wear. I want you to have your hair, how you want it. I knew I wanted her eyes to glimmer. But I have this wonderful old world backdrop with flowers on it in the background. So now this is in their directory to like show that Brandy is an AIFD florist. So cool. So that's where I was able to get the intention for Brandy. And this is the only one that we really worked with. We decided that was the one. So the one on the right, that's my daughter. And you're going to say, wow, that's not your typical headshot. Yes, it is. Why is it? Let me tell you. And also, my crop is above the belly button there. I kind of coined that. Keep it above the belly button, and it's all about that face. Okay, for this. Now, I had to crop it there because her intention was this. She's an editorial hairstylist here in New York, and she works with the most prestigious magazines and photographers and so forth in the fashion industry. And some models, too, who's personal hairstylists for them. But, supermodels. But Italian Vogue, this is my daughter, Italian Vogue interviewed her for a 2-page spread. And it wasn't that she did the hair on the model and she got a credit that she did the hair. They interviewed her. Her. She was the story. So she calls me, Mom, oh my God, and I have to have this in like 5 days or something. So I came up, we have a place in New York, and I came up and we did this in her kitchen really fast, put a black sheet over the window. You could do this anywhere, just like Jerry said this morning. You don't have to have a major studio. I work everywhere. I'll work right here. Look at this. I mean, come on, really? I'll work on that. Okay. But she's like, Mom, oh my gosh. So she wanted to show her personality. You know, she's a little cool, and, you know, she's that age, and she loves her Pink Floyd shirt. It has a little significance in our lives, and so she decided to do that. We gave him about 3 or 4 shots, you know, for Italian Vogue. Unfortunately, it didn't make it in there because they decided to use this amazing hair that she did on Joan Smalls, that she actually produced the shoot herself. So they used that instead. It was 2 pages, full bleed. I was so proud of her, I still am. So anyway, that's intention. It's not your typical headshot, but is it? Yep. Okay. Your client's intention. Why do they need their headshot? Do they want to reach out to potential employers? Think LinkedIn presence? So maybe it's not the real estate agent that needs it for their business card, and it needs to be like this, and it needs to blah, blah, blah. A lot of people are trying to get hired. LinkedIn. Everybody should have a headshot on LinkedIn. My gosh, did you ever scroll on LinkedIn and see all the blank ones that they didn't even put one in because they don't know how? They don't know how. They only have selfies. That's where if you really are serious about getting involved in this and you want to do corporate work, get your stuff on LinkedIn. Just keep posting, keep posting, keep posting. All right? Will they be placing it on their website or a brochure as a business owner? Are they in a new position and their company needs it for their website or printed for the wall? Giant grocery store. Think about that. Did you ever go to the grocery store and see the manager's pictures, you know, behind the thing? It's so funny. But anyway, do they need it printed for a wall? I'm just joking there. But are they in the acting world, pageants or dance, hair or weight changes reflecting their age today? There's a lot of reasons that you might need a headshot. You should continue to update those headshots, update your image, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to feed your head. Where do you find clients for headshots? How do you do that? Okay? So you want to think about the intention before you even market for the intention. Make it up as you go. All right? You're going to market for it? Do some test shooting. You got a good headshot, put it out there. And show and just say, look, I can create this for you, and you're going to get the job. You're going to get the client. There's a lot of reasons because you didn't do this. I did this for you. All right. Now, another thing about intention, the journalist rules. Who, what, where, why, and when. All right? Yeah, we can apply that to headshots, right? So here we have Reverend Tony. He's a cool cat that is down in New Orleans, Little Wedding Chapel. Have you ever seen that down there in the French Quarter? The French Quarter Wedding Chapel, I think it's called. Yeah, that was his intention. He's in his wedding chapel. He's sitting on this wonderful leather thing, and I purposely put the blue light. He's got chandeliers all over the place. It's nuts. It's crazy, but he had some blue weird thing in the background over there, so I made sure I did rule of thirds and I put that in the background because I wanted to match his shirt. So you have to look at your environment and go ahead and say, I can do this, I got this. So I did this, and I did this too for him. I did the portrait mode, all right? So then I have Anjana, and she's with a touring company. She's not mine, the person that takes me and my students around, but I did meet her there, and she needed something. And, you know, we took them at night. She wanted them a little edgy. Again, is this your typical headshot that you might see from other places? No. This is my style. Because I want to shoot for every client for their intention, no matter what. I don't want to say, come into my studio and stand behind, this gray background is behind you, and I'm going to shoot that right now, and I'm going to give you an outstanding smiling photo, or whatever it is, but it might not fit. She wants this on her brochure. That one. The author might want something a little more edgy, an author of a book, instead of just his face looking out at you. She wants to be where she's like, yeah, you're hanging with me, come along. Come along. This is in the center square in Habana. This is near the Floridita. You know, we took about 6 shots, and I presented those to her, and she said, that's me. And I would have never thought it. You know what? This is how I love to shoot. I want high contrast. I want black and white. It's me. And I'm like, oh, God, the market isn't there for it. Hell yeah, it is. Why? Intention. You found out from them what they need, and you give it to them. But you got to learn your gear. You got to learn your light. You got to learn your stuff. Now, this was shot with a speed light and a Westcott rapid box. Nothing on the other side, as you can tell, but I had someone holding it. I have some behind the scenes that show him holding it. And I said, just turn this way, Ajna. Turned, and I got that shot. She's in love with it. Now I have, she's a mind healing coach, Stephanie. This shot was shot this spring, last spring, with the flowering trees, but we held off. We held off. I didn't put it out there in the world. She didn't put it out there in the world, because the intention was that she has a blog and she needs to have storylines. So we thought ahead. The trees are blooming now. They're not going to bloom in February. So we shot it then so that during her calendar of blog posts, she would have what she needs so that she can blog. Bloggers, oh yeah, they need it. And you know what? They don't even know that they need it. But you can help them understand that they do. No, I'll take this thing and I'll market the heck out of it, basically, because she said I could, right? And she's gonna put it out there, and she's gonna talk about me too, because she enjoyed this so much. But, you know, that's the important part, is she first came to me and she asked for edgy black and white, like I do, that she's seen. They're gonna hire you for what they see that you do, by the way, all right? Portfolio building is so important. Please do it here. Please do it here. It's okay. Don't shoot over anybody's shoulder. One-on-one with that model, but do it here. It's okay. Put it on your portfolio. Who cares? I have things that I shot at conventions. I do. You know why? Because I can replicate everything that happened there. The light, I can replicate the look, I can replicate the expression, all right? But anyway, expanding on the shoot, what I did with her, she wanted the edgy black and white. I said, no, you know what? The trees are blooming. She wanted to do Spring Awakening, so did I. I want to shoot Spring Awakening for people. I want my clients to come to me and get shot in the beautiful trees in the spring. I'm going to do it in Central Park. I'm going to market for it. So I decided last year that I'm going to wait till this year to market for it, because guess what? The trees were almost done blooming, and this one was still blooming. So I shot it then. So now it's a twofold intention. I shot it for her intention, and I shot it for my intention. All right? So I gave her a black and white. It's not edgy, but her and I, when we were looking at them on the wall, I print them on the wall so that they can see That's how they see their images. They don't see them on a screen. All right? We love that one, and we love a couple other ones. But what I did was I expanded on a shoot. So here, this is still a headshot. She's just smelling flowers, right? It's above the belly button, right? So she can use this somehow. She could even use it on a business card, whatever she wants. But she's in love with this one, and I think her mom's going to like it too. So now, expanding on a shoot. She is, again, she's a spiritual, like a healer. Like she heals people that have been ill. Maybe they had cancer, maybe they had something, and they got to get out of their headspace. They just got to get out of that. And they got to feel better, and they got to feel better about themselves, and they got to feel better about a lot of things, and she helps them. Transformative healing she does. She's wonderful. Spring awakening. So I thought about that. Stephanie, still a headshot, basically. It's a little on the personal branding side, but now we're expanding on a shoot. Now it's going to cost more sometimes. And it did, because we ended up making it into even more. So that's where we talked in the beginning. Headshots are bread and butter, and they can lead you to a lot of different things that you want to shoot. What do I want to shoot? I want to shoot stuff like this. And I don't want it to be all headshots, but I always include a headshot, because I'm going to market a headshot to get that shoot. All right? Some people are going to come to you and just get the headshot, and that's okay. Sometimes that's all they really needed, because maybe it's a corporate guy, maybe it's a medical office. I do that too. I go to a medical office and I shoot their staff changes. You can get those accounts all day long. They're there, but they bore the hell out of me. All right? This does not, but I still do those, because it's what? It's bread and butter, it's money in the bank, it pays the light bill. But then you work towards this. If you want, and maybe it's not that. Maybe you want to shoot musicians. Whatever it is, just expand your mind and think about what you want to shoot beyond a headshot, but get the headshots in there to get there. So anyway, now she's reaching up, and she's reaching up to the universe, and she says, let it go. So we use emotive energy. I go back to my theater skills, and I look for expression that way. And then we took it one step further, and I said, look, let's change your outfit 3 times. Here's one of them. And it was a spring awakening shoot. This one wasn't even about branding or headshots or anything. Guess what this was? This was for her. This is her legacy print. This is her heirloom photo. This is her photo that in 10 years from now, in 20 years from now, whenever you pass away, somebody passes away, and then, you're like, but we need to remember. Where do you remember? You remember in photos. What was Jerry saying this morning? We pay a lot of money for food and things like that. It goes in one end, out the other. No, this lasts forever. Me and my husband were just going through estate stuff from his dad's, lots of stuff. And we found things, oh my God, they were we don't know who they are. His dad might not know who some of them are, because it was his mom's family. Holy cow, you should see these portraits. We have them. His dad still has them now. But what other memories are there? This is a great memory for her children someday, whoever it is. It's legacy portraiture. Look, this is what my goal is from Bread and Butter, which she first came to me for. Deliverables. What does your client need? What, why, and when? Go back to those journalist rules, okay? What does your client need? So, it's imperative to learn post-production workflow, learn basics or advanced retouching, then learn output methods for clients' needs. So what does your client need? That's the other part of consultation. The first part is, who are you? What are we representing about you? The second part is, how do you need it? When do you need it? Journalist rules. Think about them. Write them down. Write them down and equate them to what I'm talking about, what you need to know, what you need to understand. So now, what did he need? Here's one of those ones that bore me to death. Nice guy. I like him. He needed this for LinkedIn. He works at a bank, like he's one of the big guys. Gives out the big loans, right, commercial stuff. So he needed it for LinkedIn. He needed to update his image. So we didn't do anything else. I didn't shoot him in whatever, anywhere else. We just did his corporate headshot. Then I had to find out, how are we delivering this for you? What do you need? You need to learn retouching, even if it's basic. If you're not there yet, there's a lot of outsourcing, and I'm not going to say any of the names because I don't use them yet. I do my own retouching still. I'm going to change that very soon because retouching can really suck you dry whenever you could be out there marketing for more people. You can find retouchers for $3 to $5 an image. Why not? Use your skill set for more to make your business grow, right? So, but in the first place, I always say, please learn to retouch first, even if it's the basics. Study. Look at Phlearn, P-H-L-E-A-R-N, with Aaron Nace. Great, great, great guy that teaches Photoshop. But outsource for time, quality, or both. So I needed to know how he needed it. I gave him the full res of the one on the left. The one on the right, I gave him for LinkedIn. They were still squares then. Darn it. No, they screwed us up. I'll talk about that in a second. What's your intention? What's your intention? Why would you shoot headshots? I already told you why you would shoot headshots. I told you a million reasons. But let's just break it down easy. Your intention is your portfolio. You're going to, this isn't a paying client. This is as if you're kind of like starting your portfolio, but then you're always building on your portfolio. You better keep it updated. Your website is the most important thing that you can have if you want to be paid and you want to be a pro. It's not your Facebook page. It's not your Instagram. It's not. Those things are the things that, it's the bread and butter again. Yeah, you can market on it. Yeah, you can say, yeah, look at my stuff. Do you know how many people are oversaturated with images there? They just are. So guess what? You lead them into your online business card, which is your website portfolio. Because that's where they're going to learn about you, your skills. They're not seeing you and then Johnny next and then Amy next and their beautiful photos and they're like, I got to go feed the baby. Then they forget about it. Everything that you do on social media, you want to point back to that freshly updated portfolio. That's where you put your time in. Put your time there, not on social media. Everything you do on social media, just point it over there. Seriously. It means everything, and that sticks around forever, as long as you're paying your thing. Facebook, timeline goes, it's done, right? Even if you're putting it on your personal, done, gone. It's like a blurb. So what's your intention? Creativity, like I like to do my creative shoots. Marketing, like I said, I already society. Shoot for society in your business. I'll explain that in a second. Practice, please practice. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I practiced a long time. And I'm still practicing, and I'm still making mistakes. And I'll admit that to you. I'll admit it to anybody that I still make mistakes too. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. But we always strive to keep putting one foot in front of the other, and getting better, and making our craft what it's supposed to be. So let's move on. I don't want to run out of time. Anyway, so here, now we have the circle crop. Oh, God bless America. Holy cow. Boy, did they mess me up as a headshot photographer, and probably Peter and everybody else. Peter tends to shoot his headshots not rule of thirds. Him and his headshot crew kind of go in the center of the frame, I think. I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, Peter, I'm sorry. But boy, oh boy, I was doing rule of thirds for a long time. And I have been moving to the center. I don't know, maybe Peter's resonating with me more. I don't know what's going on with me that I have been putting him in the center. But holy cow, You know, if you shot it a certain way and they try to put it on their Instagram or something, and you only get, look at the top image there to the left. Sue Bryce took that of me, actually, if you know Sue. Terrific. Terrific, terrific educator. Anyway, change your profile picture. That was me a couple days ago. I decided, I gotta test this. So imagine you gave this beautiful image to your client, and you just gave them, oh, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, it's not being lazy, it's just what you don't know, maybe. You're giving them your delivery. And now they got this. Now Sue shot me rule of thirds, so I had just stuff here, you know, like background. So I didn't have anywhere to go with it whenever I uploaded. If I was just a regular person and I uploaded that, that's the one on the top is what I got. And I couldn't move it. There's no moving it. So is that what you want? Is that what they want to represent themselves? Unfortunately, that's where we're at. So now you have to shoot for that. You have to think about that. If you're shooting rule of thirds, okay, rule of thirds, bing. I'm looking at you. Bing. Okay. And then I'm going to take one step over, and I'm going to shoot it again. And I'm going to pull that crop up, and I'm going to make darn sure that I have something that we can circle. And I'm going to do it within a couple seconds so that I have boom, bing, bam. I do that. When I know that he's looking great, and he's got the expression, I'm like, hold that. Right? And then use your feet. Okay. So I figured it out. I had to figure it out for you and me, obviously. Okay. But I put it in Photoshop, elliptical marquee tool in Photoshop. Look, I found it on YouTube. It's all on YouTube, right? Everything you want to know. And it taught me how to make the circle crop. Now that's still, like, it just made me a circle. And the thing is, when I dropped it back into Instagram, guess what it did? Put me in the middle. Look at that. It's normal now. It's too easy, but we need to deliver what they need. That's intention. What do you need? Oh, I'm going to put it on my Instagram. I'm going to put it on my business card. So now, okay, you're going to put it on your business card. You need this. And then you need the circle, because it's going to be on LinkedIn, Instagram, blah, 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 right? Intention. Portfolio building, I already talked about that. I'm going to move on. And then I talked about that too. That happens to be my portfolio. It's loripatrickimages.com. I have an education tab on there as well that will lead you to when we go to Cuba and things like that if you're interested. Now, this is a Fineo Albums Reveal book. I not only present myself and my headshots and my fine artwork on my website, and concert photography, by the way, I'm teaching concert photography tomorrow at 12 o'clock if you're into, if you want to learn that. I want to make sure I got that in there. This is how I like to show people when I'm at Chamber of Commerce or when I'm at a networking event or something. I'm not showing them on my phone. Hey, Joe, here's what I do. What do you do? Let's exchange business cards. Nope. I don't like screens, but I do. We got us here. We got to know each other here. B&H is on screen. But when I want to present my work, All right, because I'm not going to stand there with Joe or Amy and say, oh, look at my stuff. Who cares, right? Who cares? You know why? Because, again, we're oversaturated. So instead, I use a Fineo Reveal book, Fineo albums, and this is how I present. So now I'm at a networking event. And now I have fine art prints in here, and I show what I want to shoot. Oops, not that one. That's all headshots. That's all headshots. I'm sorry. Let's get to somewhere. Okay, I want to show the people at Chamber of Commerce meetings or networking meetings that I do headshots because they all need them. They all are there representing a business, right? So, show them, oh yeah, I do headshots. What do you do, Lori? Oh yeah, I do headshots. Yeah. What's that? Now I'm going to shoot what I want. You what? You do what? I go to Venice. Yeah, this is in Venice. This is Robin. We took her headshot. And we got some wonderful, wonderful, I call it Destination Diary. What a neat name, huh? When somebody's traveling, I go everywhere. Not Asia, but so far. But I will go about anywhere, and I'll shoot for the headshot, and then I'll shoot what I want. All right? This is my daughter. This is a bridal after she got married, fine art bridal. Anyway, you get the idea, right? I'm going to sell them the headshot, and then what am I doing when I'm talking to Joe and Amy? Yeah, and they're like, oh, this was in Cuba. I shot her headshot. And then I shot her in one of the 50s cabs, right? But what am I doing, Joe and Amy? Oh, yeah, you do nice work. Oh, look at the quality of these prints. Oh, this, that, the other thing. It draws Tom and Sue and Georgia. They're like, what are you looking at? It's boring. They go to these things all the time. You know, it's like, what? There's not that much to do there. They're looking at something. Oh, there's something interesting over there, and it's on a screen. So anyway, that's how I present at live events. This is the outside of it. Shoot for society, society projects, charity, story work, help your community appreciate your work. I shoot for Help Portrait, not for them. You can too. You can too. You can sign up at your local chapter all around the world. Help Portrait. It's around December 3rd, first week of December. And what we do is we go to city places and photographers congregate together, and we help the homeless have a portrait of themselves. And my gosh, one time we met a guy who came. He said he hasn't seen a portrait of himself in 40 years. He was almost in tears. He was holding that thing. And he was like, I'm going to give this to my mom. He was like 60. And he was so proud. So this is for society. Let the people know that you care about more than your business and making a buck, right? This is what I chose. I really have a affinity for the homeless. So I shot, this is Pam. She's my girl. I love this woman. Here's, was 2015, here's 16, I'm holding her portrait with her. She's like, yeah. You know, the second year, she was just like waiting for me. Where, Lori, you're here. Yeah. Comes over, gives me these hugs. Like, we're like, and I'm like, she holds on to me. And I'm like holding on to her, and I'm looking at my friends, and I'm like, my photographer friends, and they're like laughing because this woman is so like awesome. Freaking awesome. Here she is on the third year. Now, we didn't shoot in Philadelphia chapter the last couple years. I think this was in 17 or 18. Yeah. She's had a rough life, yeah. But when photographers go there, they shoot whatever they want, shoot how they want. They bring props. They do all different things. The kids come in. They have little things for them to wear. I chose, you know, I'm a headshot girl, so I chose to give them a headshot. She loves it. She brings her daughters. Pam. Hope I see her again. Light testing. Lighting will make or break a headshot, a great headshot. Learning different scenarios for lighting is essential. Learn to shoot indoors and out for intention. It's not all about the gray background or the white or the black. You have to know that. But you also want to know how to shoot outdoors. Boy, Jerry, I keep going back to Jerry because it's like one of the only classes I saw today. But yeah, watch that if you didn't see it. Watch it out there on the internet. Yeah, he's showing you different scenarios and how you can shoot. Learn to shoot outdoors too. Now, I have Jenna Ray. Lighting has sponsored me, and you can find them in the lighting experience room, or how are they calling that? The experience room. And they have a wonderful 12 light setup, which is way more than you're ever going to need. You're welcome. Way more than I don't want to say way more than you're ever going to need, but I shoot with maybe 3. All right? So they are fantastic. New technology, and oh my gosh, are they great. Okay? This is one right here. They have barn doors attached. Hello. All right. Not only do they have the barn doors, they have a remote, and if you had 3 of these puppies, I gotta get the power on and see what I'm doing. You can, and I use this, I did a shoot on Saturday and then on Sunday, and it was getting a little cool in that room, so I had to warm it up. Look at that warming up, and I'm doing it from here. Hello. I mean, do you know that this is $249? That's chump change for lighting of this quality, okay? And guess what else I can do with my fancy remote? Is it doing anything? Is it dimming down? I can dim it down. I do a lot of dimming because I like my lights low. I shoot around 30% when I'm doing fine art. I do a lot of flagging. I do a lot of flagging, and I do a lot of bouncing off. Bouncing off. I've been doing it forever. Bouncing off, diffusion. This is diffusion already. This panel is diffused. And boy, when you talk about flagging, I had one girl, and I was like this. Yeah. I mean, that's all I can really say, because it's over, I think. But it comes in kits. Oops. Let's not go backwards. This is just a shot I took. I taught at an event space like a week and a half ago. This is John. Hi, John. I hope you're here or out there. And this was like within 30 seconds we took this shot. So it's not perfect, but I'm just showing you the light. And that was like probably at 100%. I didn't even play with it yet. This looks a little green or something. But you can see in the catch lights that I had a triangle. All right, you're going to see when Jenna Ray shows you their stuff, it's usually in a pattern that it's a triple or like it's like this, and they always have it close. You'll see the setup. They have like 6 in front of the people. Yeah, I used 3, kind of flat light, this and that. And then what I did was I dimmed down one of them. See, look in the catch lights. You can see that one went lower, so I could get more contrast. Because this is Stephanie again. She came to see her photos, and now I gave her more contrast so I could go black and white. This is Hazel. We shot her on Sunday, all right? This is what I like to shoot like. So very, very dark contrast. We did a maternity shoot, headshot to maternity. That's with these lights, but they weren't set up in the practical way that they usually have them. This isn't a retouch photo. This is just, I had her go like this so I can show you where the light was coming. Okay? I wanted to show you how I had one light lighter, one light darker. It's these lights. This is one of the signature images from her shoot, the Demi Moore pose that everybody loves. You can find these lights on the B&H website, and guess what? They're only sold through B&H, which is so cool. And the price is so good. I mean, they're really taking care of you. This is the one. This is the kits. You can get 2 lights with a C-stand and the bag. For what? $5.79 for 2 full kits with C-stands? I paid $200 and some just for my C-stand. $250. Right? You guys, I'm sure, you know, I'm not the only one. They have kits for like 6, maybe 6 people, 6 lights, 5 lights, 4 lights. You can buy them any size kit you want. Go check these lights out and play with the remotes, whatever you want. I'm done. Come for a hands-on headshot class and cultural experience in Havana, Cuba with me over 8 days with cars, cigars, rum, incredible food and entertainment. I mean, I promise if you ask anybody in my headshot group that is gone, they'll be like, we want to go back. It's so cool. I teach for an hour in the morning, and then we go off and we play all day long. I mean, we don't do headshots anymore, but you can ask me whatever you want, and I can take headshots of you. I don't care. We practice in the field. Again, join my Headshots with Lori Patrick group if you like what you saw today. Find me in the land of social media. There I am. Thank you very much.